No, but they're in New York, they're in Chicago. I saw on the news before I came here. They listed them all. No.
Good evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the Design Review Commission meeting. This is our regular meeting. Today is Monday, March 23rd, and the meeting is being called to order at 6:30 p.m. Our first order of business is our Pledge of Allegiance, and Vice Chair Salo.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. If we can have our roll call, please.
Commissioner Chang is absent. Commissioner Tu?
Here.
Commissioner Lopez?
Here.
Vice Chair Salo?
Here.
And Madam Chair Romo?
Here.
Okay.
Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and on our online platforms. To prevent any overlaps in comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak. First item, public comment. This is a time set aside for members of the public to address the Design Review Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Design Review Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear in an item on a future agenda. If you wish to address the Design Review Commission, please fill out a speaker card that is available on the back table. Once completed, kindly submit the card to our recording secretary. Speakers will be called upon to the podium one by one. Each speaker will be given up to 3 minutes. Do we have any cards for public comment?
No public comments?
Thank you. Next item, consent calendar. All items under the consent calendars are considered routine and recommendations and will be approved in one motion unless a member of the Design Review Commission or public request separate discussion. Commissioner Tu, do you have anything?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chair Sala?
Yes, I have one item. On page 5, I had given the applicant the option to remove the fence, to bring it into compliance as opposed to redoing it, and I want that to be added to the minutes.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any comments from the public on this?
No public comments?
Okay. Then if I can get a motion to approve the consent calendar, the minutes with the amendment regarding the fence.
Motion to approve?
A second?
I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Chang is absent. Commissioner Tu?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Salo?
Yes.
And Madam Chair Romo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Discussion items. Our next item is a very special one, and we have Rebecca Bettis here. This is discussion, the review of conceptual design for the future San Gabriel Veterans Memorial, and presentation will be made by the Community Services Director, Rebecca Bettis, who has been working nonstop. So, Becca?
Thank you, Chair and members of the Commission. As mentioned, tonight is a review of the conceptual designs for future San Gabriel Veterans Memorial. I'm just going to give you a brief timeline of where we've come thus far, and then I will introduce our architect who will present the item to you. So in July 2024, the City Council approved the recommended location of placement of a Veterans Memorial in Plaza Park. And then in July of 2025, the City Council approved an agreement with our architect, David Volt's Design Creative, for the development of the 2 conceptual designs for the memorial. September 2025, There was a kickoff community meeting held, and that was actually held at Plaza Park. And that included the Veterans Memorial Coalition, many of which those members are here tonight. And then in November 2025, David Volt's Design Creative provided 2 draft conceptual designs, and staff reviewed them at that time with Mission Church, as the Archdiocese is the owner of the property at Plaza Park. So we met with staff from the Mission Church and also with Public Works, who maintain the parks. And then in mid-December 2025, there was a meeting with our architect and also to present the 2 conceptual designs to the San Gabriel Veterans Memorial Coalition. Later that month, the Veterans Memorial Coalition proposed design concept number 2 with recommended edits. And then in February 2026, just a couple of months, or 1 month ago here now, both designs were presented to council for review. And in March, sorry, that's incorrect, March 2026. So the concept 2 was presented to HPCRC. So council at the February meeting, I think this is, at the February meeting, council heard the comments from the public, including the San Gabriel Veterans Memorial Coalition. And after that review and discussion, council also selected concept design number 2. In addition, at that meeting, they recommended that the plan come before the HPCRC, which was held earlier this month, and then DRC for review and feedback. So while both designs are included in your packet, as a part of the presentation tonight, we are just providing an image of concept design number 1 with a more in-depth look at concept design number 2. So with this, we are requesting that you review concept design number 2 and then provide a high-level review of the design as an important cultural resource in our community. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions at this time, if there's any questions kind of about the timeline and the process that we've had thus far. But I'd also like to introduce Gary Vasquez, who is the Director of Design at DVDC, to provide insight on the designs.
Let me just ask the commissioners regarding
Great.
any questions for you. Commissioner Chu?
No, I don't have questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Chair Sela?
None at this time, thank you.
Okay. Proceed.
Great.
Okay, good evening. As Rebecca mentioned, I'm Gary Vasquez. I'm with the Director of Design with DVD Creative. And before I present the briefly concept option 1 and concept option 2, I just want to kind of give you a background of how we started, or when we entered the picture. We met, as Rebecca mentioned, with the Veterans Coalition, and they shared with us their thoughts and their ideas about what their Veterans Memorial should be. Soon after that, we received basically a proposal from the Veterans Coalition, or basically a wish list of the things that they reiterated were important for them to see and be part of their memorial. And I just want to briefly go through a quick list of those items, because, taking these ideas and these thoughts and then kind of putting it into a memorial, it'll help you, I think, understand our process and how we arrived at where we're at today. They wanted to make sure that the Veterans Memorial would be a Spanish colonial style architecture, or reflect that. They wanted, obviously, to acknowledge the men and women, the veterans of the city of San Gabriel. They wanted the memorial to incorporate the seals or engraved insignias of the 6 branches of the military, the U.S. military, meaning the Army SEAL, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Space Force. They felt the memorial should also honor three special men, Mr. Rainier Savez Aguirre, who was in the U.S. Navy, part of the U.S. Navy. He happened to be on the battleship Arizona on December 7th, 1941. Mr. Fermin de la Rosa was in the U.S. Army. He was a recipient of the National Defense Service Medal, along with other medals. He was a very decorated soldier. And a general, Mr. General George Patton, who happened to be born here in San Gabriel. They wanted the memorial to incorporate a couple other things, such as possibly the fallen soldier battlefield cross statue. They wanted to also acknowledge the military nurses that were so valuable during those times of war. They also, I don't know if you knew this, but there's also a U.S. naval ship, the Mission San Gabriel, that happened to be a transport ship, a supply transport ship, primarily used during World War II. They wanted the memorial to also include maybe a special quote. And the graphic that you have, or some of the early design elevations that you have, does show a quote, but it's not by this particular gentleman, and which the coalition had shared with me later, that they're considering this quote. It goes like this: "The soldier above all others prays for peace, for it is the soldier who must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war." That was a quote by General Douglas MacArthur back in 1962. The veterans also wanted kind of a stage area in front of their memorial, so during events and things like that, they could, set up and use the memorial as a backdrop. They wanted benches for seating. They wanted a flagpole to obviously fly the American flag as well as the POW flag. The memorial needed to be accessible and lit at night, and was very important. And part of this process, they would like to also acknowledge the names of the people that help make this memorial happen. Possibly the names of the city council members and other important people that would make this happen. So having said that, the memorial itself, as you can see in this photo, would be located kind of in the corner of the Park Plaza, alongside Mission Drive and the main park walk that takes you from Mission Drive to Mission Road. So it's a little kind of triangular piece there. We were told really to respect and consider the existing vegetation out there. There are significant mature trees such as a California pepper on the very kind of apex of that triangle. There's a couple large palm trees, I believe the California fan palm, and maybe even a date palm, I think a Canary Island palm even. And there's some historical landmarks that sit very close to the memorial location itself, and that's the Chapman rice mill that you see there, kind of just outside of that highlighted area. So as Rebecca said, I'm going to primarily focus on the option 2, but this is option 1 to give you an idea, and it gives you an idea of some of the vegetation, the trees and the palm trees existing out there, the rice mill on the lower, that little kind of rectangle feature is the Chapman rice mill. And you can kind of see, we kind of picked a spot that connects or links the sidewalk along the street to the main park walkway on the upper part of that drawing. And this particular concept, we went with this about a 20-foot-high centralized tower flanked on each side by about 15-foot-long wing walls. And we drew up a couple concepts or some elevations and then modeled the space to kind of give you a better feel for this particular option with the main feature. So in this case, the bottom elevation C is you would be standing in front of the memorial, looking towards the main tower with the walls on each side. The walls on each side would be the walls where we would have the names of the men and women that have served, that are veterans. We'd have columns that we could insert such things such as the statue of the fallen soldier battlefield cross sculpture, things like that. And the tower itself would be tiered. Primarily, in this case, we were proposing some rock kind of veneer or rock-facing material, and that would transition to a more mission-style stucco finish for the tower itself. The wing walls would primarily be stucco throughout the walls themselves, plus the columns would just be a mission-style stucco with a little kind of details to reflect some of the mission details that you see on the mission. So again, that was the first option. Now this option 2 here, it's a little, pretty much we're locating the memorial pretty similar in this similar location as the first option. The dashed black line that you see in the middle, this is a plan view drawing, is the prime memorial structure. It's composed of a vertical wall and flanked by 2 large columns. It also connects or links the sidewalk on the street to the main walkway in part of the Mission Plaza there. You can't see it in this so much, but those squares that kind of march on down the main walk are actually large columns to support a overhead pergola. The pergola structure is anywhere from approximately 86 feet in length, and from center post to center post, about a 12-foot wide walkway in between there. And I think you can kind of see the proximity of one of the pergola columns to the rice mill, and it's pretty tight. It's pretty close, about 5 feet from the rice mill. There are existing identification information markers around that area, and we would probably need to relocate 2 of those markers, probably very near to their existing location. So this is in plan view, the option 2. So we have a couple elevations here to kind of show the general idea, option 2. And I have to say that this particular option was inspired by the pergola that currently exists in the Mission Gardens, if you will. It's on the other side of the church. We tried to pull some details from the mission itself, so the columns themselves would have a detail finial or cap similar to what you see on the mission. But you can see the main part of the memorial itself. You'll be staring right at it here. On the left-hand side, or the left lower column, we would have the 6 branches of the military, U.S. military. The main wall in front, directly in front, would be the place where we would have the names of all the veterans of the city of San Gabriel. And again, the veterans are concerned about, right now I believe the list is approximately 400 names, and it will grow. And so we're aware of that, and how we get the names on this wall should be done and will be done in a way where we could add more names in the future. So we're taking that into consideration. The right lower column there, the honor wall or honor column, would be where we believe, it could be on the back side as well, but is where we would honor maybe the three men that I had mentioned earlier. So this particular, again, this concept was kind of done in a way where with all the elements that were on the Veterans Coalition wish list, you know, the U.S. Mission San Gabriel, the U.S. Navy ship Mission San Gabriel, possibly the fallen soldier statue, and other elements, kind of lent itself with the pergola. We were able to kind of maybe spread some of these elements around under the pergola, let's say. And obviously you can walk under the pergola and then move from under the pergola outside the pergola. This happens to be kind of taking a look at the back side of the memorial, where we thought maybe we could have the special quote on the back of that wall with other plaques and things, identification plaques, possibly the sponsors or the coalition members or city council members that, you know, obviously contributed to make this happen. For the most part, the memorial would be the mission stucco finish. We thought by incorporating some rock veneer would just kind of break up all the mission smooth stucco finish. So that's kind of what you see there is like a sandstone finish. We did get some comments from previous reviews about maybe using more of a local stone to, if we wanted to incorporate any kind of stone, maybe go with a more local river type stone or possibly even brick, just so you know. Early on in the process, there was an idea of maybe the possibility of putting another sculpture or statue in of the Archangel Gabriel. That will probably not go in. The low benches themselves we thought could be almost like a Cantera stone bench, so kind of rustic in nature. So we modeled this idea, and this kind of gives you a better idea of how the main memorial is incorporated into this pergola structure. You can kind of see we have space in front of the memorial for people to come up and walk up to the memorial and take a closer look. The floor plane material, we thought, under the pergola could be just a concrete, but then transition maybe to a natural stone as you move into the memorial, in front of the memorial in this case. Just some general feedback that we've already received. The benches probably are too close to the memorial. They preferred maybe to set them back a little bit further. The columns themselves and the two central columns are, it was suggested maybe we lower those. They're just slightly taller than the columns that are on the outer edge of the pergola. Rather than two flagpoles, one flagpole is enough from what I've been told. So you can kind of get an idea of the pergola structure as you can walk through it and then move into in front of the memorial through openings under the pergola itself. This is kind of the idea of under the pergola. It's very lush, you can see. It probably wouldn't be so, it looks pretty tight in there, but we do think you have some space to get some greenery at the base and still probably an 8-foot wide walkway from the street to the other end of the pergola. But you can see how with these lower walls, we kind of create this kind of a display ledge for some of the sculptures that we see going in. So another view looking kind of from the front, looking at the front of the memorial. And this is just a view looking from the back, kind of the back side. So you can, off the main walkway through Park Plaza, you can just, enter right into the pergola. There'd be openings for pedestrians to enter the pergola. And again, start to experience and take part in the memorial from one end to another. We put these bike racks in because there are bike racks that are currently out there. We figured we'd probably want to just replace what was there. And the view looking at the back of the pergola, again, opportunity to maybe do some a nice large quote on the back side of the memorial. So I believe that is all I have. I welcome any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Chu, do you have any questions?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I have a couple questions. First of all, all the trees presented in the images, were those existing trees? Any trees being planted?
All the trees in the presentation are existing, the palms and the evergreens, the California sycamore. We were not showing additional trees. Primarily, what we were showing was more of the vegetation, the ground plane vegetation, the understory plantings, if you will. And this makes it look very lush and green, but
Right.
we would probably go with more of a drought-tolerant plant palette in this case.
Yes, though I wonder because I thought the trees plays really well with the structure proposed, and that's why I was wondering, are those existing or you planted new trees to make it work?
We did go out and we did measure and locate the palms and the California pepper trees. So we really tried to work the pergola and the memorial into the space that's there without
Yeah, okay.
impacting the trees.
That makes sense. My second question is that, has the lighting design been proposed?
Well, not at this stage. We are going to be, once we get into the construction drawing phase of this, we will have a lighting engineer assist us with the lighting design. We understand that's pretty important. So,
Okay, I was wondering if the lighting design would be part of the design review process or is a construction document?
At this
Items.
phase, I believe it's just preliminary review.
Okay.
So we'll have it back, correct?
No, following the Design Review Commission meeting this evening, it'll go back to City Council, and that's where it'll conclude.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much. That's all
welcome.
my questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
Yeah, just one question. It's kind of a general question. Now, is this a World War II memorial? Or is it for all the veterans, including Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan?
yes, it would be
And
for
now
all
Iran
veterans.
as well,
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
It's for all of them.
So, the names that are going on the plaques, I think you stated they're all primarily World War II vets.
No,
And-
no. They are veterans of the city of San Gabriel.
Okay,
So
from all
they're
wars.
From all wars, my
Okay,
understanding,
very
yes.
good. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the first one I have is Civil War. I found one from San Gabriel.
Oh, okay, very nice.
So I started with Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, current, all the way through. Anybody that was born in San Gabriel that served or lived in San Gabriel for a long time will be included in there. So they fill out an application with the coalition. I research all of them and get all the paperwork required to prove that they were honorably discharged.
Thank you so much. No, next question. No, I've seen in some of the memorials in some of the other cities, and they have a space for offerings, if you want to put it that way, where people take flowers or for their relatives that are there on those plaques. Is there anything contemplated like that here, or is it going to be like people's going to start leaving stuff there and candles and things like that?
We haven't really designated a specific space to lay or set offerings. I imagine it would be what you just suggested, the latter, in terms of people just maybe putting things up against the wall, that type of thing.
I see. Thank you. No more questions. Thank you.
Vice Chair Salo?
Hi, first question. Was there anything that was requested that didn't make it into either of your designs?
I think we covered, yeah, most of the things that they wanted to see, yes.
Okay, and you touched on this a bit, but I'd like to have an idea of how you would add names to the project.
Well, we haven't come up with a specific way. I don't think we're going to do a bronze type plaque with names on it, but more of a stone material where the names would be etched in. My understanding is that's probably a little easier to add names in the future. The stone material could be granite. We haven't selected a specific stone or color of a stone. It could be done in a way where we can actually add pieces as we go, remove piece, add the names, put it back on, that type of thing. It has to be a kind of a flexible process, I think, in adding the names, in adding the 400 names that we currently have, and adding names in the future, that type of thing. So we haven't selected a specific process to do that, but I think we're leaning more towards an etched type stone process.
Yeah, because your design is very symmetrical, and the idea where you would have 400 names plus room for more is very inherently not symmetrical looking. And so I just want to be sure that your design or your proposal is harmonious, where, it looks good as is, even if you don't add names, instead of, having all the names here in a big blank space over here.
Yeah.
That's not going to look good if that is the end result. So yeah, I just wanted an idea of what you guys had in mind. And I guess my final comment is that, yeah, the landscaping looks very lush. It actually reminds me more of when I was in Miami last year than in Southern California. However, it is beautiful. Is there a preference from you which option to proceed with? Option 1, option 2?
Me personally, I kind of prefer this option 2. I think the pergola is a nice feature. I think it's very unique in that other memorials that you see. This is pretty much an original. I think it lets people kind of move through the space and experience the memorial, not just at one spot, but various points under the pergola and outside of the pergola.
Yeah. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Before I have any comments, Ron, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had the opportunity to preview this before you all, I think. And I too thought Scheme 2 was the better scheme. And in particular, it reminded me of the FDR Memorial in Washington, D.C. I think this is one of the best memorials because unlike just looking at it, it causes you to explore it. And you wander through, and I tell you, even now, I get goosebumps thinking about the FDR Memorial. It was so moving, and I think this is a mini version of that. And so I really enjoyed the idea that you discover one thing after another. Even the multiple pavement textures make it more exploratory. So I really congratulate you on it. And by the way, I wanted to thank you all for your service. The one thing that I'm cautious about is that it looks very confining and it looks kind of dark, especially that view underneath the pergola. It looks dark, and will it feel safe, particularly at night? That's why lighting will be very important.
Right.
And so I had suggested maybe instead of all those vines, maybe the vines are only at the perimeters of the pergola structure, so more light could come in through it.
And we could remove, remove some lattice pieces to open it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see your point here. I mean, it is, it's really easy when you're working on working on computers and,
Yeah.
you know. This particular vine happens to be even, I think it's a bougainvillea, which, you know, that's probably a vine that you would see around here. But, you know, I think another contender would be, you know, a California grapevine,
Yeah.
possibly a wisteria, something like that.
All those are excellent. Just, you know, just allow some skylights in that pergola.
Right.
I think this, and then I think I mentioned too that the use of sandstone versus a brick that seems more contextual with the mission, or
Right.
river stone from our local mountains here, I think would be very attractive. And then just one other thing about the height of some of these things, it just seems like, especially like that big pediment over the main monument, it doesn't allow you to see over and through it. So, you know, my suggestion would be to remove it. Oh, and one last thing, another thing that I learned from Washington, D.C. was the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Because it was stone and highly polished, the most powerful thing to me was my reflection in the stone, and that my connectivity to the people that were engraved on that stone, that was also very powerful. So those are my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'll just, thank you for those comments. I just want to mention the main monument structure, real quick, kind of comes to I don't know the architectural term, but a gabled point there.
Pediment.
Pediment, which is reflected on the church entry there. But I think the Veterans Coalition, after reviewing this, would probably want to see more of a not such a sharp point pediment, but maybe more of a mission-y, something that has a little bit more curves and things like that to it. So, yeah.
One more thing about the fixed benches in the front there. If you had a large ceremony, would they not block the audience's participation with the ceremony?
These, in this case, I would say yes. And this is kind of a challenge for us because I think we'd want to provide seating for people to come out and sit and just relax. And but it's not a huge space. We kind of view the grass as an extension of the memorial. When events are being held, we view the grass as also being used as a gathering space as well. So we may need to rethink the sizes of the bench, the location of the benches as well. Okay, thanks.
Great. Thank you all for your comments. I jotted down a few things. When I see those pavers that you have, I see like 3 different types of ground treatment. To me, it's a little busy. So if you work on getting something less busy, I think the space will look bigger, feel bigger.
Tying in the
Yes.
entire space, yeah.
Because right now, it looks like you have something under the pergola, then at the
We have a
memorial
different
walkway,
stone, as
and
you
then
see,
the
yeah.
other stone. So I think that's kind of competing, for your eye to try to figure out what's there. I see a lot of plant material, which is good. I do think the lighting that Ron mentioned is imperative. And I also think of, when you look at this, looking at using lighting and plant materials to discourage homeless loitering. Because if there is kind of a cozy space that you'll have semi-privacy, you're going to have someone kind of hanging out there. And unfortunately, that is what's going on in our society right now. But there are things that you can do with lights and even floor lighting, uplighting from the ground up, lighting from on top. You look at ways to create a safe environment and to discourage. And when you have the plant material at the base of the walls, that discourages people
Yes.
from leaning up against the walls automatically. You mentioned you wanted to get input on flagpoles, right? Or no?
No, in these concepts, we're showing two separate flagpoles that would fly one flag each. But in some of the comments we've heard is we don't really need two flagpoles. One's enough. We could put both flags on one pole. So that was the comment regarding the flagpoles.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. And when you look at City Hall basically has one flagpole with multiple flags, with the U.S. flag being on top and then the other ones under that. I like the concept. I do think having the brick or river stone kind of would kind of fit better with what we have around here, around the Mission. I do like how the pillars kind of mimic what's across the street at the Mission.
Right.
It kind of weaves some familiarity altogether. And I think that's nice. So when we talk about the stone, if you use granite or some type of marble, looking at the Mission, what they've done with the first phase of the columbarium, it's important to buy all the stone at one time so you can have all the colors and then have extra, because stuff breaks and you need to think of the worst case scenario. And that's one of the things I like about kind of the plain pillars, is that the maintenance, it's an easy paint job versus, doing something that's a little bit more, if you have a lot of stone or brick, you have to look at the worst case scenario. It's going to be tagged, and how do you handle that?
Yeah.
So I think the paint is a good solution to that. But I think we've had some good discussions. I think the question about offerings, I think that would be nice. That would be nice to have.
Space for that. Right?
Yes, yeah. And even if you have like a perpetual light, like a faux candle or, something like that, that might serve that with a little shelf, that might help with that space. Ron?
One more thought, where Commissioner Sala was concerned about future panel and being off-center. What if this additional space was at the bottom of the list? So you could just add more, and so it would look good on day one and look good at day 50, year 50.
So the names are more vertical and work their way down the panel. Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's see. I would, kind of back to, I wanted to share with you a comment from a previous review that the designs went through. that relate to security. And you see these little wing walls that become a place to set sculpture or something like that. One suggestion is you lower those even more, so you get less of a enclosed, confined space under the pergola. So maybe those, right now, those are about 3.5, maybe 4 feet high with a sculpture on top. We can, definitely lower those down to maybe just 2 feet high and have the same impact, I think.
I think that definitely would work and help with that. Do we need a motion on this? How's this going to work, Seth?
No, Madam Chair, next part would be public comments,
Okay.
and then that would conclude the item.
And is it a public hearing? Is it a public hearing? Okay, all right. Do we have any public comments?
One public comment.
My name is Michael Cervantes, and I serve as the president of the Veterans Coalition. I just wanted to mention that the coalition has been working on this project for well over 6 years to try to get something developed. And we've been fortunate enough that the city has come to a consensus with us that we have some kind of recognition of the veterans who have lived here in San Gabriel or who were born here in San Gabriel. It's a time that that can be kind of emotional because of the conflicts that are going on right now in the Middle East, the conflicts that occurred in South America, the conflicts that occurred over many years. And people sometimes forget what happens. And the memorial will help people understand and appreciate the work, the duty, the service that members of this community have put forth. And we're hoping that this agreement that we have with the design will go forth to the city council. We have made various suggestions, and obviously the group here has also made some thoughts about what could be done to improve the basic design. It's something that's important, and we hope that you take that into consideration. We have now around 400 names, but we believe that once people actually see something being built, that they will start talking to other people and mention them. Don't you have someone in your family who was a veteran or is a veteran? Or did you have your father or your grandfather or maybe your great-grandfather who was a veteran? And we'll see more names coming up. So it will become a kind of a center for people to come and see. What people have done to support not only their community, but the nation as a whole. So we wish everyone well, that this will go through, and that we will soon see construction come about. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we have another speaker.
Hello, my name is Ray Diaz. I'm with the organization. I've been one of the founding directors. One of the gentlemen suggested we have an eternal light. I don't know how that would work, maybe lit for the memorial of the fallen veterans. And that was just something that he brought it up, and I thought, that's a good idea. It's up to, something you might want to dwell on, okay? And that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Hi, my name is Carlos Alvarado. I'm a member of the coalition. First of all, I'd like to thank all the commissioners for taking this into consideration. I'll tell a real short history of this group. They've been together for about 6 years now. Been working really, really hard on this concept, this thing that we need to put up at Plaza Park. I think it'll give the city a lot of pride. It's very family-oriented. It invites people to come and see. And I suspect, just like you have seen the Morris in Washington, it's going to be emotional to see somebody's name up there. The concept, the design, we always had the idea of taking it off the mission to look like the mission, because it's right next to it. So I certainly would like to keep that concept with the design, the material, all that stuff, just like the mission, because it's right there. It's right there. I personally have had my dad, my uncles, all World War II veterans. I've had cousins who were in Vietnam. A couple of these guys behind me were in Vietnam. So it's an honor to them. It's an honor to any veteran. And like Denise said, we have one person, I believe, who was in the Civil War. We have their name and stuff. The other thing I think is going to happen is that once that thing is up, and all the names are up there, people will come and say, well, how come I didn't know about the names, okay? Can we put more names? And that's where we're going to leave room to add more names and stuff. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Any additional public comment?
No comments?
Okay. So it is now 7:21, and the time for public comment is now closed. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
We'll take a couple-minute break so they can clear out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all you do.
Good seeing you, Ray.
Yes, it's up here.
Okay, we will proceed with our meeting and go on to item number 4, public hearing. Sam?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the commission, we're just going to go right into the item. The public hearing item, there's only one item this evening, and it's for a project that's located at 101 West Valley Boulevard. This is for a master sign program, case number MSP 25-003, and the applicant is Success Sign. The subject property is located on the north side of Valley Boulevard. To the west is Manly, and to the east is Del Mar Avenue. The property is located within the mixed-use transit-oriented zone within the Valley Boulevard specific plan. As shown on the map, to the east and the west and the south is the same zone, and then just north is the residential preservation conservation zone. The underlining zone is R3. So the subject property, it's a 2.27 acre site, And the project is an approximate, a little bit under 300,000 square foot mixed-use project. And the project is comprised of a 225-room hotel, 87 residential units, and approximately 32,000 square feet of commercial space. The building is 6 stories. It also includes 535 parking spaces, a 2-level subterranean and on-grade level, and also a mezzanine. And this project was approved by the city in 2014 by the City Council Planning Commission and Design Review Commission. So it's been a few years. This is a rendering of the project at the time when the project was approved in 2014. And here is the constructed building as of today. This is a view of the project. This is the southwest corner off of Manly and Valley Boulevard. And then this is the project rendering, again, back in 2014. And here we are. This is the south elevation of the project that is currently under construction. And as mentioned, the item before the Design Review Commission this evening is the proposed master sign program, which primarily it does follow the design guidelines for signage as set in the specific plan. The proposed master sign program includes criteria for the type of text, which includes individual internally illuminated channel letters. The program proposes face-lit halo and also reverse channels. Staff does provide a few recommendations to the commission that is a little bit different from the proposal, and one being that the criteria for consistency either allows for a face-lit or for a reverse channel, because the look and the design of the type of letter, it does have a different appearance depending on the type of the design of each text. So that's one recommendation from staff. But again, the criteria allows for both types of texts. And then also the maximum height of text allowed is 16 inches, and for the logo is 20 inches. And the maximum sign area for each sign is 1.5 per lineal feet, which is consistent with the allowed standards within the specific plan area. The length of each signage is 70% of the storefront for each unit. And then also the allowed face colors includes black, white, red, green, and yellow, which was provided to the commission this evening on the material board. Also the returns, which is the edge of the text, and the trim cap for the letters. The criteria allows for both black and white, but again, for consistency, staff is recommending that either white or black is selected, again, for consistency for all the tenant signage. This is a rendering of the proposed signage to show the proposed location for the signage. It includes, the signage primarily is proposed on the south elevation facing Valley Boulevard. That's where many of the commercial space entrances will be. And then the project also includes 2 identification signs for the hotel use, one on the southwest corner, which is shown on the slide, and then the second on the west elevation facing Manly. And both of the signs will read Jordan Hotel. There are 2 additional signs that are proposed in front of the glass railing for another tenant space, but the last recommendation from staff is for the signage to be at a different location, and it's staff's opinion that it may not be the best location for the signage for the project, but that can be a part of the commission's discussion. The proposed project is consistent with the general plan's goals and objectives for land use, for economic development, and for community design, and essentially it's to create vibrancy within the specific plan area. The project was reviewed, subject to the California Environmental Quality Act. It is an existing building, facility, and each individual signage is not the project this evening, but just the criteria for signage that will go onto the building. And with that, the recommendation before the Design Review Commission this evening is to adopt the resolution of the Design Review Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number MSP 25-003 for the master sign program. And this concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. Commissioner Tu, do you have any questions for staff?
No, I don't have question for staff. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
No questions for staff, thank you.
Vice Chair Sala?
None for staff, thank you.
Okay. Just kind of clarifications on a couple of points. At this time, they're not providing any wayfinding or pedestrian signs?
No, the type of signage is as presented in the criteria, no wayfinding.
And then the address is 101 or 105?
101.
So the 105 that we see there is for Del Mar?
That, the sign company would probably have to clarify.
Okay, all right, thank you. I don't have any further questions at this point. If you can come up here.
Sure. As for the address, that's what I was told by the client, that it has multiple addresses. And I was told that, or this section of the building is 105, and the other, well, maybe the east side is 101? Because maybe the hotel and the retail is different, or it's, I mean, that's something that we can make sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's very prominent up there.
Right.
So someone who looks at addresses, if the building address is different, that building address should be more
Right.
prominent.
Right.
And other addresses less prominent. So that's something that kind of jumped out at me, so.
Right. So the building, the ownership, they wanted to have those addresses at the specific location. I don't know why, but we can look into that. But they're both 105, 101 Valley, not Del Mar, as I understand.
Yeah, 101.
101, yes, 101. And, I mean, the address I was given was 101-111, so, I mean, I guess it encompasses whole area, but I don't know about, I don't know the detail about that, too.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can verify that and maybe just consolidate into one main address, probably 101, I would think.
Yeah, because, I mean, most people are going to be either driving or, some people walking and some people taking public transit, because that intersection has a lot of public transit. You're going to be going towards that main address, you know, if you're going to the hotel. And if that address is not the hotel, then it shouldn't be that prominent.
Sure.
But do you have a presentation for us, or no? You're just for
No.
questions?
Yeah, just if there's any
Okay,
questions.
all right. Then Commissioner Tu, do you have questions?
Yes, I have a couple questions. So, are those colors of the signs, like basically just black and white, right?
The side of the side of the letters,
No, the
not
signs.
the face. Yeah.
The face.
The face are the black, red, green, white, all of
So
that.
the face, we have 5 colors to choose
Right.
from.
Right.
So pretty much all you presented on the material only showing black and white. And there's a little red dot that is part of the logo.
Right. Well, tenant sign is just for just a sample of the sign, obviously on the illustration. So that, according to the sign program, it could be any one of those colors.
So have you tried out to place all those colors in the building to see if all the tenants comes in with all different colors like this?
Yeah, as you can see, the majority of, actually, all of the tenant signs go on the stucco wall, and the little space below the awning, the metal awning. So that's all that grayish or that kind of off-white stucco finish. So I believe any of those color will work.
I mean, so approximately how many tenants or how many signs?
I think
will
there are like
be
maybe
on-
13 to 15 spaces. I'm not quite sure. They're not too many. They're all facing the valley.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the color is available for the tenant to pick from?
right.
Okay. Can you articulate the concept of selecting those really like original and
Well, those are
really
typical,
bright
most
colors?
common colors that we use for sign. I mean, green, probably not. Red, yeah, actually, yeah, but those are chosen by the ownership as well, so, yeah.
Okay. So it's not chosen by a professional, it was chosen by the
I mean, I
developer?
recommended those are regular, the most, like, main colors that is being used as the face color of the channel letters. Yeah.
Okay, so the side color, what is the side color?
It was black and white, it was proposed,
Just these two?
right.
Okay, I see. I have another question that I noticed that on your on this image, there's two different tenant signs on the upper left and the lower left. The one on the it says typical stucco wall is above the typical stucco wall. The font looks different from the one at the upper left. Was that done? These two tenant
Oh, you mean the
signs.
one on the two? Okay, no, it's just, no, it wasn't particularly.
It shows like two different fonts
Yeah,
were
that-
used for these two tenant signs. Is this that
That
on
has,
purpose or is a
Yeah,
typo?
it could be typo, but it doesn't have to be typo because there's, it actually, so it bears no meaning. The difference is, it has no importance, so to speak.
I think on your presentation, all those information are important. Otherwise, why would you like present them?
Let me go
So
back
on
and
your page 4, you have a tenant sign,
Right,
typical detail,
yes.
and that shows a specific font that was chosen for the tenant sign, which somehow similar to the one in the upper left image, but not the lower left image.
Yes, so the lower right corner image is an error, so we'll amend that to match the tenant sign
So this, that would be the,
below Jordan sign.
okay. The second and then third question was, I think staff mentioned that you have proposed like two signs on the glass railing.
In front of the glass railing, yes.
In front of the glass railing. What kind of material is that? How do you install those?
It's a standing, ground standing. So if you look at the details, there's a mounting raceway, and then the letters will be mounted on top of that. And that's the hotel ID, and the restaurant sign is intended to be one of their major tenant. They have this huge restaurant that's going in there, so that is meant to be the hotel ID, and then the restaurant sign as a main anchor tenant, anchor retail tenant.
Is this facing to the valley?
Yes.
Oh, it's in the middle. Okay. Okay, that's my question. Yeah, I don't have other questions so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez?
So along Valley Boulevard, and the tenant signage, they'll be able to use like yellow or red, whatever colors you have there?
Yes, if the commission is okay with it.
I see. Okay. All right, no further questions.
Thank you. Vice Chair Salo?
Yes, can we go to the slide that shows the lettering for the Jordan Hotel? In the package is sheet number 5. Yeah, this one. On that bottom graphic, the Chinese characters there, I'm assuming they're Chinese characters?
Yes.
Does it say the Jordan Hotel?
Yes, I assume. I'm not Chinese, but that's the text given to me by the owners as well.
Okay, because I don't think that it does,
Oh,
and that's a problem.
what does it say?
Well, that's the issue. If I didn't read Chinese, how would I know what that says? What does it say? Yeah, it says this is the entrance to the mall or something like that. So it's absolutely not
Oh, maybe it's
appropriate.
okay.
That's my first comment. Secondly, I don't think that the height of those letters should be higher than the word Jordan. In fact, I think they should be subservient, like the word hotel, to the main Jordan word. And I think it would be my preference if we were to know the colors before we approve this, as opposed to the Chinese characters are going to be red, green, or yellow, and everything else is going to be black and white. I would not be comfortable with that. I just want to be sure that there's a hierarchy to the legibility of the graphics.
Okay. I think we could comfortably probably specify the colors for the hotel IDs and whatnot. That probably we'll have to change those Chinese character to reflect Jordan Hotel, but those are permanent sign, not retail signs. So those I think we can at this point probably specify exact color.
Yeah, I agree. Permanent signage is fine. We don't have to get into all of the tenants that could possibly come and go.
Sure.
We just set standards for them. But for the permanent signs, I think we should have an exact idea of what it's going to look like. Yeah. Thank you. My last comment is I agree with staff's recommendations. I want them to be part of the conditions of approval. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Ron?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So one question I have is when I read the staff-provided text, it says that the MSP allows individually internally illuminated channel letters, but the top one and the bottom one are not individually illuminated channel letters. They're like a shaped box
No, actually,
sign.
those that back shape is actually a mounting panel, and the individual letter JOR and then that little circle in the mountain, those are individually crafted channel letters, channel or shapes.
Okay.
So the whole thing is not a one piece.
Okay, I didn't understand that. The other thing is, what happens if you have a tenant that is like T-Mobile or Verizon that have specific colors or specific fonts? Are they going to be?
It does reflect that nationally registered trademarks are allowed to whatever they want to do.
Okay. Okay, I don't think I have any other questions. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed this attachment, with the Jordan Hotel logo on it, with a gold color, and also has courier collection by Hilton. And I was wondering, this is the logo that provided by the hotel?
Yes.
So the black and white was accommodating to the building.
I'm sorry?
I mean, this is a gold color.
Right.
So the color is different than the proposed logo.
Right.
So I was just wondering why is the discrepancies between these two pages?
I mean, that was just the logo for the front page that was provided by the tenant or the ownership.
Okay.
So I mean, if you are trying to,
I was trying to understand what's the original color of the hotel's logo. Like,
believe
apparently,
that's-
there's something different than what has been proposed, just black and white. And I personally thought this color works better with the building instead of black and white, but I'm just trying to see the
the
connection
challenge
here.
with the gold would be when it's to backlight or backlit gold color, it's just not gonna work. It will look yellow, pretty much.
Like, and you also have yellow here too,
Yeah, so you don't want yellow, I don't think,
right?
as
So
to
you
replace
have-
gold,
So you have a yellow as a commonly used sign color,
right?
but gold doesn't work?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, that's all my questions.
Yeah, gold will really good, because they do have gold, what do you call it, on the very top of the building, a very prominent gold feature on top of, unfortunately, I don't think gold will work as a backlit, internally illuminated sign.
So Commissioner Seros, the Chinese character actually says it's a new Hilton store or something like that. So it's not saying Jordan Hotel. Jordan Hotel, so.
Yeah, now I recall, I think that's their Chinese name for the hotel or the development, but I'm sorry, I'm not really 100% about that.
We should be able to translate it accurately, at least for us.
I mean, to say like the Jordan or something like that?
And to me, if I were to see the Jordan Hotel, that doesn't mean anything to me. But if I read Curio Collection by Hilton, that says more to me than just the Jordan. So
I think that's why that's the reason that the Chinese says Hilton.
yeah.
They want to mix everything.
So, I think one of the things that I'm struggling with here is that usually when we get a sign package, we have an inspiration for the signs. We have something a little bit more to help guide us and give us information of what is being proposed and why. And so we don't have that inspiration. And some of the questions that we've asked you, you've said, well, it's just what the owner wants. And so to me, that I guess I need more info. I think that's where I'm coming from. And I think when you look at how people are going to get here, they're going to have different ways of coming there. Sure, if you do navigation, the navigation will tell you where you want to go and how to get there. But if you don't have a cell phone in your hand with navigation and you're walking from the parking lot trying to get to the hotel, the restaurant, one of the 13, 15 businesses, how do you know to get there? These are little things that make it easier for the customer. And when things are easier for the customer, your retailers, you have that potential to get customers and not, I was parked, took me half an hour for a parking space and another 15 minutes to try to find this location. I don't know how the other commissioners feel about this. We can pick, one type, either facelit or halo, one color, black or white. We can talk about sign location. But I don't know if I'm the only one who needs more. Yes, Ron?
I kind of agree with you I think it'd be more elegant if they were all similar rather than yellow and green. And by the way, this yellow, where you mentioned about the gold color, this would be better in gold than yellow. This looks like McDonald's or something. So that's one thing. Another thing I was thinking while we were talking is, once upon a time, Samantha had me meet her at a building under construction at, I don't know, 300 Valley or what. I went to 300 East instead of 300 West, because that could be another complication here too. And then one more thing, when I see the location of the tenant signs, I think they're here.
Right.
So they're going to be striped with shadows? What do you think about that?
At a certain time of the day, yes.
Commissioner Tu, do you have comments on how to possibly resolve this, or should we continue this item? Request more information?
Yes, I think in this body, we have reviewed a lot of the sign design package. And I mean, the variety of the color being selected in this package is a little out of date, I think, because although the building style is more in the traditional side, but I think a lot of those like modern sign design more linear towards to like a lower tone.
These days primarily black and white. We rarely do yellow, red, green.
Like grayish, right?
Gray, some
would
gray,
be
yeah,
like a more popular option. So I think.
But then
that
those
needs to-
colors are very difficult to specify, for example. Because we were sort of forced to recommend few colors. So we can do black and white. But other than that, those muted colors that majority of the retail may use, we cannot specify like, the gray, or it'll be very difficult to put into, although if you're going to restrict the color as to few colors, I'm saying it will be almost impossible to reflect those more modern colors, if I'm making sense.
I mean, like a bronze or a
Yeah, even
faded
bronze. I mean, there could be different tones, uranic bronze or metallic bronze. There's so much different shades of bronze. So I don't know how we would specify, okay, this color, this color, this color, if we are going to restrict the color. I actually don't know why the color restriction is even there, but I don't know. That's my personal opinion.
Wouldn't it be like, for example, you've got that, yellow has different tones as well.
Right.
What
That
you're
is true.
saying is
You
that
specify the exact yellow and exact green and exact red.
when you
What's the problem?
specify exactly this shade of bronze or tone or whatever from that, and then the tenant gets to look at, okay, this is the exact color I need then. Something like a color match at Home Depot when you go with unknown shade of paint.
If I could add again, because of the striped shadows, it seems to me like it should be black, because I think it's going to be competing with these shadows. It needs to be bold enough to stand out against the shadow.
So as the design professional, I think a lot of times we get the inspiration from like working with what is in the context, and your context is actually the building. So that's why I don't see a lot of association with the red, green, and yellow. And that's why I recommend the team to go back and explore the possibility a little more. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lopez, do you have any?
Well, no,
agree
I
with
agree.
Commissioner
I'd
Chu?
like to be able to visualize it better, and, that big, bright array of things, reminds, more reminiscent of like a Legoland or something like that, which is not what we're looking at. So I'd like to see some different shades. I mean, you know, as far as the options are kind of what we're talking about. And again, I will say again that it's been a recurring problem that we keep putting in these abstract conditions because the applicants come and it's really hard to visualize exactly what they're saying. So we go into these abstract conditions and leave a lot of subject to interpretation. So my recommendation would be to go back to the drawing board and if as soon as they can have it, we can come back and we can take another look at it. That's my sense.
Thank you. Vice Chair Sala?
I don't have additional comments, thank you.
So it seems at this time we'd like to continue this item to a date uncertain. But I do think when you come back is, you know, help us work with the owners so we understand what the inspiration is. I think you heard very clearly tonight that signs with a black face front lettering would read more clearer, and even when you look at the examples that you have shown here, you can't read the white very clearly. And people driving, you have seconds to try to have your mind read the sign and interpret, is that where you want to go or not? So once again, as easy as possible, that you make it for the clients to read signs to find where they need to go. It does make it better. I'd like to have you look at the address because I was confused with the 105. If it's a different address that's not the main building, then it shouldn't be that prominent on the building. And you know, as we were talking about the hierarchy, the translation. Yes, Ron?
Well, sometimes the police department and the fire department want certain locations for the address.
Yes, but I think those are the type of rules, but I don't think they wanted it up there that big because we don't see other buildings in the city like that. And I think we need to be able to figure out what all this means. And I think maybe they left out the Hilton with the name because that would reduce the total sign height. I don't know, but I think the Hilton should be added.
Yeah, all I know is they've gone through a few name changes in the.
Yeah,
in
because
the
we saw it
process.
as a Hyatt before.
Yeah.
But if it's definitely, you know, even on the gray part of our packet, it says Curio Master Sign Program. It doesn't say Jordan. And so it's just a little confusing, and I think it's a good try, but it's incomplete at this time. So if I can get a motion, or did I leave anything else out?
So if I may ask one question, I think I've got everything else except the colors. At this point, I am personally inclined to just drop yellow and green from the list and go with black, red, and black. I mean, black, red, and white.
And I'm not going to make a decision right now about that, but I think if you look at inspiration and kind of what you want to have this
Maybe I
building
can
look like.
show the illustration as to how they will look against
Yeah.
the existing condition. So, okay, got it.
Okay, so if there's a motion to continue this item to a date uncertain,
I motion to continue this item to a date uncertain
oh,
and planning case MSP 25-003.
and I'm going to backtrack. Do we have any public comment on this?
No public comments?
Okay. Then the time, it's 8 o'clock, and the time for public comment is now closed, so sorry for the interruption. Commissioner Lopez.
That's okay, so I'll reiterate, I move to table this for now and to move to a date uncertain on planning case number MSP 25-003.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Chang is absent. Commissioner Tu?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Salo?
Yes.
And Madam Chair Romo?
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now it's time for comments from our, from Sam, Assistant Director.
No comments, Madam Chair.
Okay. Do any commissioners have any comments on conference meetings and reports? Commissioner Tu?
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Lopez?
No comments, nothing to report.
Vice Chair Sala?
No comments.
I don't have any comments either. So then we adjourn to our next regular meeting of the Design Review Commission on Monday, April 27th at 6:30 PM here at City Hall, 425 South Mission Drive, second floor, Council Chambers. Thank you. Good night.